Hello students, I am Sai Baba here. So in this class I am going to start the discussing the solutions for the assignment in thermodynamics for the questions numbering from 31 onwards. In the previous class I have shown you the questions numbering from 31 to 16 the assignment in thermodynamics. So in this class I am going to start the discussion of the solutions for these questions. So look at the question number 31 on the screen. Gas for which gamma equal to 1.5 is suddenly compressed to 1/4 of initial volume. And the ratio of the final to the initial pressure is. So you are given that the final volume V2 is 1/4 of the initial volume V1, or V1 by V2 can be written as 4, and gamma can be written as 1.5 or 3/2. You have to find the ratio of the final to the initial pressure. So we'll use the relationship between pressure and volume of the gas in the adiabatic process. As I discussed in the theory part, that sudden compression of a gas or sudden expansion of a gas can be approximately considered as adiabatic process. So the sudden compression of the gas can be considered equivalent to adiabatic change. The relationship between the pressure and volume of the gas in the adiabatic process is given by PV power gamma is constant. So I can write P2 V2 power gamma is equal to P1 V1 power gamma in the adiabatic process. So P2 by P1 can be written as V1 by V2 power gamma. Here V1 by V2 is 4, which you can write it as 2 square for convenience of calculations. Gamma is 1.5 or 3/2. So that we can write 2 power 2 into 1.5 or 2 cube, or you can write it as 8. So ratio of the final pressure and initial pressure of the gas is 8:1. So if you want to copy the solution of the problem, you can take a pause and copy the solution of the problem. So for question number 31, which I have just discussed now, fourth option is answer, 8:1. So then see the next question, question number 32. 5 moles, I am going to read the question number 32 now. 5 moles of hydrogen, gamma equals 7/5. Initially at STP or compressed adiabatically, so the temperature becomes 400 degrees centigrade. The increase in the temperature of the gas in kilojoules is. So here the initial temperature of the gas at STP conditions is 0 degrees centigrade. So the final temperature is 400 degrees centigrade. So increase in the temperature of the gas on centigrade scale is 400 minus 0 degree centigrade. The increase in the temperature of the gas on Kelvin scale will be numerically same as increase in temperature on centigrade scale. So increase in temperature on Kelvin scale can be taken as 400 Kelvin. So you are asked to find increase in energy of the gas. Change in energy of the gas in any process. I mean change in energy of fixed mass of an ideal gas in any process is given by nu CV delta T. Nu is the number of moles of the gas, which is given to be 5. Nu is given to 5 moles here. CV is the molar specific of the gas at constant volume. The molar specific of the gas at constant volume is given by CV equal to R by gamma minus 1. For diatomic for hydrogen gas, gamma is given to 7 by 5. So if you simplify this, you get CV equal to 5R by 2. So number of moles of the gas, nu is 5 moles. Calculate the molar gas constant, which is equal to 8.3 joule per mole per Kelvin. Delta T is the increase in the temperature of the gas, that is 400 Kelvin. So if you want to copy the solution of the problem, take a pause and copy the solution of the problem. And also please complete the simplification part. So if you simplify this, you get 41.5 into 10 cube joules. So if you want to copy the solution, take a pause and copy the solution of the problem. So for question number 32, which I just discussed now, second option is the answer. So it was given originally in 2002 MSET in engineering paper in Andhra Pradesh. So look at the question number 33. It's a theoretical question. Read that. I'm going to read the question number 33. Read the two statements. A. The intensity of an ideal gas increases in isobaric expansion. B. The intensity of an ideal gas increases in adiabatic expansion. You have to select the correct option. So as I discussed in the theory part, in the isobaric expansion, pressure remains constant. In the isobaric expansion, pressure is constant. So at constant pressure, you can say volume of the gas is directly proportional to absolute temperature of the gas, according to Charles' law. So when volume of the gas increases, at constant pressure, temperature increases. So if temperature of the gas increases, internal energy also increases. Therefore, internal energy of the gas increases in isobaric expansion. That is, statement A is correct. In adiabatic process, no heat energy absorbed by system and no heat energy lost by system. From first law of thermodynamics, you can write delta Q equal delta U plus delta W. Delta Q is 0. So delta U is minus delta W. So during expansion of the gas, delta W, work done by the gas is positive when the gas volume of the gas increases or during the expansion of the gas. If delta W is positive, delta U is negative. That means change in internal energy of the gas will be negative, which implies that internal energy of the gas decreases. So in the internal energy of ideal gas decreases in the adiabatic expansion. So statement B is wrong. Statement A is correct. That means fourth option is the answer for question number 33. Look at the question number 34. In a given process on an ideal gas, dW is 0 and dQ less than 0. That means dQ is negative. Then for the gas, from first law of thermodynamics, dQ equal to du plus dW. So if dW is 0, then du will be equal to dQ, which is given to be less than 0. or du is less than 0. That means change in energy is negative. That means the energy of the gas decreases. If the energy of the gas decreases, temperature of the gas will decrease. So for question number 34, first option will be the answer. So look at the question number 35. When a bottle of cold carbonated drink is opened, slight fog forms around the opening. This is assertion reason question. Again, I read out assertion. A bottle of cold carbonated drink is opened. A slight fog forms around the opening. Reason. Adiabatic expansion of the gas causes lowering of temperature and condensation of water vapor. So when a bottle of cold carbonated drink is opened, the gas present inside the bottle will undergo sudden expansion. And sudden expansion of the gas can be approximately considered adiabatic expansion. As I already discussed in the past in the theory part, sudden expansion of a gas can be approximately considered as adiabatic process. And in the adiabatic expansion, temperature of the gas decreases. Temperature of the gas decreases and temperature of the gas falls. That means both assertion and reason are true, and the reason is the true explanation, correct explanation of assertion. That means for question number 35, first option is the answer. So look at the question number 36. Fixed mass of a diatomic gas initially at pressure P and volume V expands adiabatically until its absolute temperature falls to 1/4 of initial temperature. So work done by the gas is, so you are given 4 options in terms of the pressure P and initial pressure P and volume V. So to calculate the work done by the gas, you have to find the product of final pressure and final volume in terms of the product of initial pressure and initial volume. So relation between the products of final pressure and final volume, initial pressure and initial volume, for a fixed mass of a gas in any process, can write P2 V2 by T2 equal to P1 V1 by T1. Here, let us say as usual, meaning P1, P2 are the initial and final pressures of the gas. V1 and V2 are the initial and final volumes of the gas. T1 and T2 are the initial and final temperatures. So P2 V2 can be written as P1 V1 into T2 by T1. It is given that the absolute temperature of the gas falls to 1/4 of the initial temperature. That is T2 is 1/4 of T1. Or T2 by T1 is equal to 1/4. So you can write, and P1 is given to be P, V1 is given to be V, T2 by T1 is 1/4. So product of final pressure and final volume will be 1/4 of the product of initial pressure and initial volume. So work done by the gas in the adiabatic process is given by the formula W equal to P1 V1 minus P2 V2 by gamma minus 1. Here P1 equal to P, V1 equal to V, and P2 V2 equal to PV by 4. And for a diatomic gas, gamma is 7/5. So if you want to copy the solution of the problem, you can take a pause and copy the solution of the problem. So for question number 36, second option is the answer. See the question number 37. temperature of 1 mole of an ideal gas is increased from 300 Kelvin to 310 Kelvin under isochoric process. Heat supplied to the gas in this process is 25 R, where R is universal gas constant. What amount of work has to be done by the gas if the temperature of the gas decreases from 310 Kelvin to 300 Kelvin adiabatically? So in the first case, the process is isochoric. So in isochoric process, volume of the gas is constant and no work is done by the gas. So from first law of thermodynamics, delta Q equal to delta U plus delta W. So when no work is done by the gas, heat energy absorbed will be equal to change in the energy of the gas. So heat energy absorbed is equal to 25 into R. And change in the temperature of the gas is equal to final temperature minus initial temperature. That is 310 minus 300 Kelvin. That is 10 Kelvin. So in the second case, the process is adiabatic. So in the adiabatic process, heat energy delta Q is 0. And from first law of thermodynamics, you can write delta Q equal to delta U plus delta W. That is 0. So work done by the gas in the second process is equal to minus delta U. Change in the energy of the gas in the first case, you can write in the form nu CV delta T. That is equal to 25 R numerically. Nu is the number of moles that is given to be same in both the cases. Delta T is 10. Nu is 1 mole here. So delta T is 10. So CV molar specific constant volume can be taken as 25 R by 10. That is 5 R by 2. The second case, work done with the gas is equal to negative of change in energy. Change in energy of an ideal gas given by nu CV delta T or change in temperature. That is nu CV T2 minus T1. So nu is again 1 mole here. CV equal to 5 R by 2. The second case, final temperature is 300 Kelvin. Initial temperature is 310 Kelvin. Understood that all units are expressed in the SI system. So that comes out to be 25 R. That is same in the first case, same as the heat absorbed in the first case. So for question number 37, third option is answer. Next, look at the question number 38. An ideal gas at pressure P, temperature T and volume V is isothermally compressed to V by N. Its pressure becomes Pi. The gas is compressed adiabatically to V by N. Its pressure becomes Pa. The ratio Pi by Pa is. So in the isothermal process, Boyle's law is applicable. That is, product of pressure and volume is constant. So final pressure in isothermal process is denoted by P subscript I. Final volume is V by N. So in isothermal process, you can write P2 V2 equal to P1 P1. Initial pressure equal to P. Initial volume is V. Final volume is V by N. So final pressure in the isothermal process will be equal to NP. V can be cancelled. So in the adiabatic process, the relation between pressure and volume of the gas given by PV power gamma equal to constant. Or we write P2 V2 power gamma equal to P1 V1 power gamma. So here initial pressure is P, initial volume is V. So here from same equation you can write P2 equal to P1 into V1 by V2 power gamma. Here V1 is V, V2 is V by N. So in this equation, you can substitute V1 equal to V, V2 equal to V by N, and P1 equal to P. The final pressure for adiabatic process denoted P subscript A. So final pressure of the gas in the adiabatic process is equal to N power gamma times P. To find the ratio of the PA by PA. P subscript I is the final pressure in the isothermal process. P subscript A is the final pressure for adiabatic process. Can write PI equal to NP. And PA equal to N power gamma P. So that comes out to be N power 1 minus gamma. Those who want to copy the solution of the problem, you can take a pause and copy the solution of the problem. So for question number 38, fourth option is the answer. N power 1 minus gamma, I can write 1 by N power gamma minus 1. Fourth option is the answer. Look at the next question. Question number 39. An ideal gas at pressure P is adiabatically compressed, so the density becomes N times the initial value. The final pressure of the gas will be just working for this, similar to the working for the previous question. The final density rho 2. You can write mass of the gas by final volume. The initial density of the gas, if you denote by rho 1, that is called mass by initial volume of the gas. So final density rho 2 will be N times the initial density rho 1. If M by V2, N times M by V1. M is the mass of gas which is fixed. That means the final volume is 1 by nth of the initial volume. So you have to repeat the same procedure which explained in the previous problem. So you can take a pause and complete the calculation of the problem. So initial pressure is P, initial volume V1, final volume is V1 by N. So you get final pressure of the gas equal to N power gamma times P. So 39 first option is the answer. See the next question, question number 40. The monoatomic ideal gas initial at temperature T1 is enclosed in a cylinder fitted with a frictionless piston. The gas is allowed to expand adiabatically to a temperature T2 by releasing the piston suddenly. if L1 and L2 are the lengths of the gas column before and after expansion respectively, then the ratio T1 by T2 is given by. So the relationship between the temperature and volume of the gas in the adiabatic process is given by TV power gamma minus 1 is constant. So you can write, therefore, T1 V1 power gamma minus 1 is equal to T2 V2 power gamma minus 1. So here, V1 is the initial volume of the gas before the expansion, and V2 is the final volume of the gas. So from this you get T1 by T2 equal to V2 by V1 power gamma minus 1. The initial volume of the gas, you can write product of area of cross section of the piston of the cylinder into initial length of the gas column. Final volume of the gas, you can write product of area of cross section final length of the gas column before the expansion. It is a monatomic gas. For gamma for a monatomic gas, you can write pi by 3. The area of cross section gets cancelled. So you get T1 by T2 equal to L2 by L1 power 5 by 3 minus 1, that will be 2 by 3. If you want to copy the worksheet, you can take a pause and copy the worksheet. So here, fourth option is the answer for question number 40. Just discuss now. See the question number 41. Starting with same initial conditions, an ideal gas expands from volume V1 to V2 in 3 different ways. The work done with the gas W in the process is purely isothermal, W2 is purely isobaric, and W3 purely adiabatic. Then, as I discussed, I think this question in the earlier assignment also, it is easy to answer the question if you make use of the PV graphs. The final volume is n times the initial volume, suppose, where n is greater than 1. In the isobaric process, pressure will be constant. So isobaric process can be represented by straight line parallel to the volume axis in the PV graph. Initial pressure is same in all the cases. Denoted by PR. As I discussed in the previous 2 problems, in the case of isothermal expansion, the final pressure will be equal to the initial pressure by n. When volume is n times pressure at constant temperature, pressure becomes Py. In the adiabatic expansion, final pressure will be P by n power gamma. So final pressure is smaller for adiabatic process because gamma is greater than 1 for any gas. So final pressure for adiabatic process less than the final pressure for isothermal expansion when the starting initial pressure is same in both the cases and initial state is same. So in the final state, the pressure is denoted by P subscript I in isothermal process. In the final state, final pressure denotes P subscript A in adiabatic process. So initial state is same in all the cases. So this curve represents the isothermal curve. This straight line parallel to volume axis. This graph represents isobaric expansion. And the bottom curve, the lower curve which I am drawing now, this will represent the adiabatic expansion. Initial state is same for all the three cases. Final volume is same in all the three cases, but final pressure is different in the three cases. As I discussed earlier, the area under the PV diagram or PV curve and volume axis between the initial and final state gives you the work done by the gas. You can observe that area below the isobaric straight line graph and volume axis, that is the area of the rectangle here, larger than the area below the isothermal curve and volume axis. So work done by the gas in isobaric expansion will be more than the work done by the gas in isothermal expansion. And that is more than the work done by the gas in the adiabatic expansion, because you can observe from the graph that the area below the adiabatic curve and volume axis, that means this area, gives you the work done by the gas in the adiabatic expansion, this shaded area, which is less than the area below the isothermal curve and volume axis. So here work done by the gas in the process is isobaric is denoted by W2. The work done by the gas in the isothermal process is denoted by W1. Work done in the adiabatic process is denoted by W3. So W2 greater than W1, that is greater than W3. So if you want to copy the work, you can take a pause and copy this. So for question number 41, which I just discussed now, fourth option is answered. This is an important model question. See the next question. In adiabatic change, the pressure and temperature of monoatomic gas are related as P is proportional to T power C. So relation, you have to first write the relation between pressure and temperature of the gas in the adiabatic process. So observed with some students, they are able to remember the relation between the pressure and volume of the gas in the adiabatic process as PV power gamma equal to constant. This relation most of the students are able to remember easily, but they are not able to easily remember the relation between pressure and temperature of the gas. So I would like to also tell you how to get the relation between temperature and pressure of the gas in the adiabatic process, starting from the relation which is more familiar to the students between pressure and volume of the gas. That is starting from PV power gamma equal to constant. You can arrive at the relation between pressure and temperature of gas in the adiabatic process. For that, you have to eliminate volume V. From perfect gas equation, you can write PV equal to nu RT. So to eliminate the volume V, you can write V equal to nu RT by P. So you can substitute here V equal to nu RT by P. So on the right side, you have a constant. For a fixed mass of gas, number of moles is a constant. Molar gas constant is a constant. So constant power, another constant will begin a constant. So P power 1 into T power gamma by P power gamma is constant. Therefore, you can write this constant will denote it by C, suppose. So T power gamma is equal to C into P power gamma by P. That you can write P power gamma minus 1. Divide the powers with gamma minus 1 because you are given the relation as P proportional to T power C. Let us not use C here because C is used for everything. Let us denote this constant by some other letter D. Because C is used for power of T. So therefore now t power gamma we can write constant d into p power gamma by p power 1, or t power gamma is equal to p power gamma minus 1 into d. So if you divide the powers with gamma minus 1, so p is proportional to t power gamma by gamma minus 1. You are given that p is proportional to t power c. That means here c equal to gamma by gamma minus 1. For a monoatomic gas, gamma is equal to 5 by 3. So you can substitute gamma equal to 5 by 3 in both numerator and denominator to find the value of C. So those who want to copy the solution of the problem, please take a pause and copy the solution of the problem. You get C equal to 5 by 2 or 2.5. So for question number 42, second option is answer. Look at the question number 43. The thermodynamic process. There should be the word process here. Helium gas obeys the law T by P power 2 power 5 by 2 by 5 is constant. The heat given to the gas when the temperature of moles the gas is. So just before this, we have discussed the relation between pressure and the temperature of the gas in the adiabatic process. So we have discussed that P power gamma minus 1 is proportional to T power gamma. If you divide with powers with gamma, you get T by P power gamma minus 1 by gamma is constant in adiabatic process. And for a monoatomic gas, helium is a monoatomic gas. Gamma is 5 by 3. So if you substitute gamma equal to 5 by 3 in this equation and simplify it, come on, take a pause and simplify it. So substitute gamma equal to 5 by 3 and simplify, you get the same relation which is given in the question. T by P power 2 by 5 equal to constant. That means the given equation represents the relationship between the absolute temperature of the gas and pressure of the gas in adiabatic process in the case of monoatomic gas. So the given equation is nothing but the relationship between the pressure of the gas and absolute temperature of the gas in the adiabatic process in the case of a monoatomic gas. Helium is a monoatomic gas. Therefore, the given process is an adiabatic process. In the adiabatic process, E delta Q will be 0. No heat energy is absorbed by the gas. So for question number 43, fourth option is answer. See the question number 44. So PV plots for two gases during adiabatic process are shown in the figure. Plots 1 and 2 should correspond respectively to. So as I discussed in the theory, slope of tangent to adiabatic PV curve at a given point on the curve, gamma times the slope of the gamma times the slope of the tangent to the isothermal PV curve. So slope of the tangent, as I discussed in the past, slope of the tangent to the adiabatic PV curve at a point on the PV graph will be gamma times slope of the tangent to the isothermal curve at the starting from same point. You can observe that the tangent to the curve 2 has greater slope compared to the tangent to the curve 1. That means the value of gamma for curve 2, for the gas representing the curve 2, is more than the value of gamma for the gas representing the curve 1. Gamma for a monatomic gas, as you know, is more than the value of gamma for diatomic gas. So curve 2 represents monatomic gas with greater slope. Curve 1 represents the curve for diatomic gas. Helium is a monatomic gas. And oxygen is a diatomic gas. So curve 1 represents the diatomic gas. That means you can take oxygen. So second option can be taken as the answer. Oxygen and helium. If you want to copy this equation, you can take a pause and copy the equation I have written on the screen. See the question number 45. Temperature versus pressure graph of an ideal gas is as shown during the process AB. Now you can observe that the given graph is a straight line parallel to x-axis. The equation of a straight line parallel to x-axis is y equal to constant. That means here along y-axis we are taking temperature of the gas, along x-axis pressure of the gas. That means in the given process, during the process AB, temperature of the gas is constant. So if temperature of an ideal gas is constant, you can say its interaction with the gas also remains constant. You can observe that from the graph, pressure at B is more than the pressure at A. So final pressure at B is more than the initial pressure at A. The temperature of the gas is constant. We can apply Boyle's law. This pressure is inversely proportional to volume. So final pressure P2 at the point B is more than the initial pressure at the point A. So P2 is more than P1. So if pressure of the gas increases at constant temperature, then volume must decrease in accordance with Boyle's law. So V2 will be less than V1. So second statement B is wrong. First statement A is correct. Volume of the gas will decrease here. And pressure statement D is the correct. Pressure is inversely proportional to volume. When volume of the gas decreases, work done by the gas will be negative. So work done by gas on the atmosphere is negative. Work done by the gas on the surroundings is negative. Means work done implies that positive work is done on the gas by the compressing agent. When positive work is done by the compressing agent on the gas, then we can say work done by the gas is negative. So statement C is correct. So except second statement B, statements A, C and D are correct. You want to copy this little working I have written on the screen, you can take a pause and copy this. So for question number 45, third option is the answer. That is statements A, C and D are correct. Look at the question number 46. In the case of expansion of fixed mass of an ideal gas, So all these things you can answer yourself with the help of the theory I have discussed earlier. In the isothermal expansion, there is no change in temperature of the gas. So in the isothermal expansion, temperature of the gas will be constant. Change in temperature of the gas delta U will be 0. From first law of thermodynamics, in any process, we can write delta Q equal to delta U plus delta W. So in the isothermal process, work done by the gas will be equal to the heat energy absorbed by the gas. That means in isothermal, in the first statement, A list 1, or no change of temperature of the gas, R and S will tally. The free expansion. In the free expansion means no heat energy absorbed by the gas and no work is done by the gas. The gas expands inside a thermally insulated vessel into vacuum so that it does not absorb any heat from surroundings. At the same time, no work is done. So delta in free expansion, delta W is 0, delta Q is 0, and there is no change in internal energy of the gas also. That means for the B, S will definitely tally. Work done the gas equal to heat absorbed, or you can say no change of internal energy for B. Work done the gas equal to heat absorbed, both are 0. So R and S. In the adiabatic expansion, so in the adiabatic process, delta Q is 0. If you put delta Q equal to 0 in the first law of thermodynamics, you can write delta U plus delta W is 0. So W is minus delta U. Delta U change in internal energy of the gas, which you can write final internal energy minus initial internal energy. So work done with the gas in the adiabatic process will be equal to UI minus US. That is initial internal energy of the gas minus final internal energy of the gas. So work done by the gas will be equal to the decrease in the internal energy of the gas. So C will match with P. The statements, the items C on the list 1 will match with item P in the list 2. And work done by the gas will be equal to decrease in temperature of the gas. When temperature of the gas decreases, work done by the gas will be negative. So, and work done by the gas is negative here, but no heat energy absorbed. So C will match with P. In the isobaric expansion, work done by the gas is less than the heat absorbed. In isobaric process, all the three delta Q, delta U, delta W are positive in the case of isobaric expansion. So for statement D, you get Q. Okay, I will continue discussion in my next class.